C-sections. How many people you know have had a C-section? How many of those people didn't even need a C-section, but they got it regardless? A lot of the C-sections done are not even medically necessary. And they are also very dangerous. The risk of death after getting a C-section is 3 times higher than than normal births. They can also be very, very costly for every 100,000 women, 13 of them die after a C-section, unlike normal births, which is like 3 to 4 women every 100,000 women. There are also more complications that comes with it. Getting a C-section could be easier, the easier solution for some people because maybe they don't want to go through the pain of like normal childbirth, but it's not worth the complications that happens afterwards. And in this speech, I'll be talking about the complications and the reason why so many people get C-sections and how we can stop it. In this speech, I will discuss the problem of giving C-sections to women even when they are not medically needed, nor that they are safer than normal childbirth, and why do many doctors do it. According to Axios, that the national C-section delivery increased in 2019 to 32.4%. That is the highest rate since 2013 probably. Sometimes C-sections are necessary due to having health problems, but unfortunately more than 50% of the C-section surgeries are not needed or even medically necessary. Some hospitals and doctors do it just to gain some profit and fill up their pockets. Some doctor actually could force mothers to have C-sections. According to The Guardian, a secret policy in a New York hospital forced a woman to get a C-section against her will. They performed the surgery without her consent, and then the hospital had literally step in, like they had a policy in the hospital that says like step-by-step instructions to doctor and staff in performing surgeries and procedures without the patient's consent, if they can persuade the patient into getting a C-section. One of the doctors who wanted to give birth naturally was begging the other doctors to just give the woman more time, according to PPS SoCal. The other issue The other issue is that women of color are sometimes forced to get a C-section more than white women. Women of color are almost 25% more likely to get a C-section than a white woman, and most of them are actually unnecessary at all. Back in the day when natural birth giving of a child without our modern technology and all of our equipment and all that hospitals that we have right now was very dangerous. I'm not gonna deny that, but we have evolved, we have developed, and we have the technology and the equipment and the doctors and the hospital to use, and they have used more advanced equipment so you can deliver a baby naturally without any health complications during the surgery or even after the surgery. But now, due to some hospital and doctors' greed, they tend to force C-sections on every pregnant woman just so they can, put more money in their pockets, with absolutely no regard of the woman's safety or even her financial situation. The lowest profit a hospital makes after performing a C-section, by the way, is about $2,200. And that is a lot for some people. It's a lot for everyone. If it's a for-profit hospital, the women are 17% more likely to get a C-section, even if they do not need to have it. According to KFF News, hospitals increase their profit from C-sections to 82%, and that's only in California. I'm not talking about other states. Now that I've showed you the causes and why do doctors give women C-sections and the greedy practices of some hospitals, I will now give you some solutions to try and solve this issue. According to MPPR, California is trying to push hospitals to lower the rates of unnecessary C-sections. The government also should implement laws to protect women from having unnecessary C-sections, especially without their consent. And if a hospital performs a C-section, they have to be required to prove that why it was medically necessary. What could we do as normal people? It's very simple. Talk to your state representative and tell them about the issue, and also whenever you're pregnant or expecting delivery of a child, go to a reputable doctor and a reputable hospital. There are a lot of them out there. And that's pretty much it. Like, it's the easiest solution ever. And in this speech, I told you about the health risks that are imposed by having a C-section and why do hospitals and doctors do them, and how we can stop them. C-sections can be life-saving at the same time they could be very dangerous and medically unnecessary, and they could impose some serious health risk on the mother's life. This speech will hopefully teach the dangers of them and that some hospitals/doctors are greedy, and how can we stop it from happening in the future. If you only cared about women's rights, you would call your state representative and ask them to try to implement laws to stop these unnecessary C-sections from happening. You also need to look for a good, reputable doctor or a hospital before letting them deliver your baby. If they only do it for the money, you should literally run away. Email or send a letter to your representative. It only takes literally a few minutes, and you could save someone's life. You could save someone a lot of money. That was everything in my speech. I hope you will learn from it. And that's it. Thank you.